This month, Eye on the Arts features the South Shore Dance Alliance. As a performing company and studio, they believe the artistic grace and power of a professional level dancer only comes to those with the will and sharpness of mind to focus, take direction, and follow their passion. Artists have always found inspiration in the majesty of nature. The Mighty Acorns Nature Camp immerses children in the beauty of the Indiana Dunes State Park and encourages kids to tap into their artistic expression. The Sand and Steel exhibit displays pieces that interpret the natural wonder of the dunes juxtaposed with the man-made industrial giants of the steel industry. The unique collection takes some of the most iconic imagery associated with the region and shows everyday Northwest Indiana in a new light. In celebration of Indiana's 200th birthday, Portage High School students are participating in the Bicentennial Public Art Program. The students chose to represent their region with themes common to this month's show: the strength and grit of industry and the grace of the sweeping dunes. It's clear they take great pride in their work and the opportunity to represent Portage and Indiana. Eye on the Arts is made possible in part by South Shore Arts, the Indiana Arts Commission, and the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency.
Lakeshore Public Television and South Shore Arts are taking Eye on the Arts out of the studio and into the community. The show will take an intimate look at local artists and their creations, as well as galleries, theater groups, musicians, and performers, highlighting anything and everything that the diverse local art scene has to offer. Lakeshore Public Television and South Shore Arts feel the art community is a fascinating representation of Northwest Indiana, and we'd like to share that experience with you.
South Shore Dance Alliance Performing Company and Dance Studio offers demanding training for young, aspiring dancers. With a full program ranging from ballet to tap, versatility is their standard for a competent working dancer. Proud of their lineage of award-winning dancers, choreographers, and instructors working around the world, they have reason to believe they are the best dance school in the area.
We have professional dancers teaching, people that have danced professionally or are still dancing professionally, but we make this affordable so that kids who have that desire, that passion, work ethic, can actually get the opportunity to realize their dream. Brianna Robinson, I met her when she was 11. We started a training program for her based on what she said she wanted to do. She said she wanted to go to Juilliard. I know that was a tall order.
With the dance world being small and with it being competitive, I think what's really important is how badly you want it. One of my teachers in college always told us, if you want to dance, you'll dance. To me, it's always about the process. It's never ending. You never arrive. And I always tell my students that you've not made it just because, maybe you do achieve that dream company, but then what happens after that? What happens while you're in the dream company? How do you keep challenging yourself to be more and be greater?
I love the way she dances. I look up to her, and people always say that I'm a little her. She just really inspires me to dance because she went to Juilliard, and I wanted to go to Juilliard, but I don't know for sure.
She reminds me a lot of myself. She's so driven. When you discover what it is that you really want and you have that personality type, it's like you want it so fast. And I have to tell them, you have to be patient with yourselves. It takes time and it's continuous. I definitely see that in her, and I see her drive, and I see that she could definitely make it far because of that.
It feels good to know that somebody like that is actually telling me that I can be something, because that makes me feel better, and it makes me actually want to push harder. So it just gives me more confidence in myself.
Every now and then you run up on somebody that there's no ego, that's out there. They fit wherever they're at. They work hard and they listen. Destiny is that kid.
I could have fathomed the amount of hours and the lack of sleep. One of my teachers would always say, "You're always gonna be tired." I was like, oh, now I get it. But when you love it, it's worth it. And you figure out how to make it work. And it definitely takes time, and it definitely takes exposure to the art and exposure to the many different aspects that it requires of you. So much more than the physical. It requires so much of you emotionally and spiritually even. So it's definitely much more than I thought when I was younger. And that's another thing that I try to encourage the students. I don't want to just see you dance. I don't want to just see you doing steps. You're putting you on top of the movement, how you are speaking the movement. I want to see your voice in the movement and how you express yourself, because that's what companies look for. They're looking for people. They're not looking for robots. They're not looking for amazing technicians that can get their legs all the way up, because so many people can do that, but very few people can express artistry in a way that is captivating, that draws people in.
I just know that I really want to be a dancer, and I just have to open up my heart about it. And anybody that else wants to be a dancer, just know that they need to have the confidence, the determination, and people to help them and encourage them. My parents encouraged me a lot, and I just really thank them for that, because without them, I wouldn't be here. I can show my emotions during dance, and like when I'm upset, I dance, I stretch, and I just let all my emotions out. And I know that I love to listen to music, all genres of music, so it's like once I hear a song come on, it's just, I gotta dance.
I used to be really shy and really quiet, and I felt like dance gave me my voice, and dance gave me something to reach for. And it is definitely my passion, and I always encourage my students, and I constantly encourage them, whatever you're passionate about, pursue it relentlessly.
It just takes a lot of strength and determination. You can't give up. Once you start, it's like, what's the point of stopping if you love to do it?
If you work hard, if you commit to your passion, that you can achieve it. I don't believe in having a backup plan. If you fall on your face, if you have to start over, start over. But don't start out thinking you're gonna fail. I believe that if you put your best foot forward and you don't make it, the things that you've learned, the skills that you've learned, the confidence that you gained will carry you on to be successful in whatever you do.
They taught me how to stand up for myself and be determined about what I do and not think about what everybody else does, and be your own person. Don't just follow after everybody else.
It's all right for a child to try dance or baseball and think that they can become a professional at that. It's all right. You have to teach the relationship between the child, concept of self, and how it fits with the rest of the world. Give them a sense of humility. Everything is not about you. Give them a sense of human value so that they can be a really good dancer and go over and take the time to work with somebody that's not so good. We know that everybody that walks through this door is not gonna go into be a professional dancer. It's just too competitive. But we also know that the work ethic, the pride in what you do goes into every other field that you go to. The kind of work that you do as a dancer or as an artist fuels the brain. It makes it sharper.
The Dunes Learning Center offers summer programs featuring music and traditional summer camp activities such as hiking and making tie-dye t-shirts. The Mighty Acorns Nature Camp is one such program that allows campers to experience the Indiana Dunes State Park by exposing them to varied ecosystems and inspiring artistic expression through drawing, painting, and performance art.
So Art in the Park is one of the programs going on this year to help celebrate the Indiana Bicentennial. I got really excited to hear that they were going to put this grant out for people to do activities at the park and incorporate art. So Mighty Acorns is one of the camps that we have at Dunes Learning Center, and I was already looking for something new to do this year at camp and was going to be coming to the state park. So when I heard Art in the Park program came up to incorporate art into it, it was just a perfect fit. I partner with two local artists that we've been working with over the last year with our camps, Eric Spruth and Marsha Brown. And Marsha is doing an activity with the kids where they're doing some painting, and then Eric is doing a poetry activity with the kids where he introduces some poetry that he's brought, and the kids reflect on it and interpret it, and then the kids as a group make a poem together and interpret it, and then they also illustrate it.
Marsha introduces campers to the work of Frank Dudley, a 20th century landscape artist from Chicago who's best known for his paintings of the Indiana Dunes.
The curriculum entails a brief introduction of the artist, for instance, where he was brought up as a child and then as his career moved forward as an artist, the particular medium, and I touch base on that with my students. I also give them a little bit of information about painting and drawing techniques and how they can apply that out to the plein air on site as a landscape artist. By exposing them to the artist, that they can have a sensory idea, perception of the park, draw from the nature, go hike the dune, understand that he did the same thing. So it's that type of collaboration with all of the kids, regardless of age level, regardless of ability, that they can create an art work in the style of Frank Dudley.
Campers are encouraged to express themselves through words in a poetry exercise. Eric helps them create a unique, spontaneous poem where each camper contributes a word or phrase to the piece.
So the first part is a spontaneous poetry exercise, beginning with a poem that was created spontaneously by others. Having the poem recited, having the kids be empowered to be in a position to have opinions, perspectives, and to be listened to and respected as they're having their opinions and perspectives about the poems, and then to be engaged in a production of a new spontaneous poem, and to bring meaning to that.
I was in tears because the kids just came up with such a great poem together as a group. I thought it was I wasn't sure how it was going to work. I was like, oh, are the kids really going to do this? And they came up with such a beautiful poem. I was like over there crying. It was really touching. So it just validated the work that we're doing, and that it validated the program. I try to expose the kids to different things, to different professionals throughout a lot of our programs, be it that it's the artists or a wildlife rehab person or something like that. But yeah, they get to see that there are professional artists, they get to meet them, and two, it opens that door too and gives the aha moment of, oh, well, I could be an artist too, or I could do this too. You know, I want to inspire kids, we want to connect kids to nature, and there's different ways, everybody has a different way that they connect. So we always try to weave art into our programs, along with the science and math and other things as well, but this gave the opportunity to really incorporate the art and give kids a different way to connect. When the kids come to camp, I want them to have the experience of a lifetime, so any way that we can vary the experience for them and put them out of their comfort zone or have them try something new, experience things a different way, I think it's really important for them to grow, and the fact that we can provide those opportunities is a really great thing.
Check out duneslearningcenter.org for more information on all the programs and events the Indiana Dunes has to offer. Following along with our theme of art in the Indiana Dunes, we visit the South Shore Arts Gallery in Munster, Indiana. The gallery is hosting a free exhibition titled Sand and Steel, Visions of Our Indiana Shore through August 28th. The collection features pieces inspired by the Indiana Dunes and the steel mills that are scattered along the lakeshore. We sit down with exhibit curator Greg Hertzlieb to discuss the pieces as well as the iconic imagery that is so tightly tied to the identity of our region.
The dunes, the Indiana Dunes, the state park and the National Lakeshore, encompass or embrace a wide variety of ecosystems, various environments, groupings of plants and so forth, bogs and swamps and all sorts of things. So it's a remarkably varied place, geographical location, and of considerable interest for science and for tourism for that reason. So this area has that going for it, but then right next to it, in this peculiar and even surreal kind of juxtaposition, are these mills along the lake. And so you're not only in nature, but in this kind of treasure house of nature. And then on the horizon, you see the mills that built this area and built the country. With Frank Dudley, for example, the painter Frank Dudley. Now, somebody would look at a Dudley painting and saying, that is beautiful. That meaning the painting, but also the truth it portrays. The landscape looks like that, and that's a lovely thing. So then you go out into the landscape and you see, it looks just like the painting. Can we keep it like that? Because otherwise, if there's a bunch of buildings and apartments and concrete and boats, it won't be as beautiful anymore. So it kind of, it meaning, I guess, Dudley's art and some other painters and artists too, raising awareness to the point where people are, coming to the dunes and saying, yes, this is that idyllic sort of place that these artists are working with, and it bears saving, it seems. I mean, it's just kind of a paradise, I guess, and rare in its configuration, et cetera, et cetera. Now, further into the gallery, there are some etchings, which are prints done on metal plates by Earl Reed. Reed's a graphic artist working with line, and his pictures are more along the lines of like Edgar Allan Poe or something like that. Not to say that there's this mysterious or macabre dimension to it, but there is kind of a bracing atmosphere to him, a wind blowing through, black birds in the skies. Not haunted, but more imaginative, and speaking to stories that could be told in the dunes, and he actually did write books. So there's a whole nother view of the dunes there, and that at the same time when I was a kid going to the dunes, I saw Dudleys all around me, and it was gorgeous. But then once I got inside the woods and I started to prowl around, well, then I saw the Earl Reed start to happen, and it was a whole different ballgame, but every bit as fun, exciting. They're both true, you could say, but very different. I used to teach high school, and one half day for the high school, the teachers got to tour the mills, which was wonderful and exciting. I'd never seen anything like it. And it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. Now, when you look at the Hanel painting when you first walk in, it has the browns and the rust colors, and it feels like that. The artist matched the color. So there's these artists that capture the sense of it, and I think that with this artist over here and the Willow Crest painting, the diptych, there are a lot of dual natures going on. On the one hand, it's beautiful. At the same time, it's heavy and ugly industry. On the one hand, it's realistic, but it's also very brushy and expressionist. And you get up close and you realize that you need to step back to pull the sense together of it. And I guess lastly is that it's, it's beautiful and ugly at the same time. I mean, boy, the mills are really ugly, but they're so grand and strong, they're majestic. So it's fun to kind of ponder those imponderables, I guess, and see if you can resolve them for yourself. I guess irrespective of the state of the mills, just thinking in terms of who we are and where we're at, I mean, what's special about us? And just looking out and thinking of that juxtaposition, that kind of combination of elements, and realizing that it doesn't occur anyplace else. I mean, I guess sometimes you need that boost, to identify that particular thing that is special, and maybe even draw metaphorical meanings from it, symbolic meanings from it, a sense of balance. People in this area have a grounding in hard work and in leisure. You can extrapolate from it, and you find your own character kind of building because you're identifying good aspects of it. Just kind of identifying what it is about this place that, might have led to the creation of a unique perspective among all of us, or even within ourselves, I guess. That's the way I would summarize it, I think.
High School students are celebrating our state's 200th birthday by participating in the Bicentennial Public Art Program. The program centers around a life-size sculpture of a bison that acts as a canvas for communities to celebrate the state's birthday with their own local flair. The students jumped at the opportunity to make their mark, taking great pride in their work and their community.
I was chosen. Ms. Rupsich came up to me and she said, we'd like you to be on the Bison Project. We know that you're very good with detailing and that you always have like a positive spin on like what they call challenging. I say it looks like, looks fun. So that's kind of what it is for my eye for detail.
For me, I took up drawing at a really young age, so I've always drawn, and then painting I didn't take up till freshman year, and I actually had 3 giant murals in my Latin room, so that's why they threw me in there, I guess.
The workflow of the Bison was kind of just mainly there were some exceptions of just some people having certain specific tasks to work on, and then other people it was kind of just work a little bit on this side for one day, and then someone else works on that side the next day, and you move to the other side. It's kind of just that to kind of blend all of our styles together. Yeah, the planning process that I did to make the steel mill was I went basically Google and looked up steel mills that are here in Northwest Indiana, kind of got my reference photos there, and took that picture, put it into a program, kind of merged them together to get a visual of how it looked. And I just took a chalk or pastel and just sketched it lightly over it and then went to work.
I worked on the buck. That was my last finishing touch on it, so I only had a day to work on it and throw it together.
I worked on the base that it stands on, and it was different because it was my little pet project. Nobody else worked on it, and I didn't have as much time because it came in late. So
I worked on the sky, the trees on the other side, the farm field, and the coal in front of the mills.
I worked on a lot of the fine details. I did a lot of the grass, a lot of the greens, the flowers, the leaves, tree bark. I did a chipmunk, I did a rabbit, just the little things.
I had the privilege to actually draw the barn and the house. It was kind of a challenge, but it was fun to do.
With the bison, I basically painted the base of it and some flowers, and I painted a bird. I painted a little chickadee.
I made a cardinal, and that was probably the biggest thing that I had to focus on. I was nervous about messing it up and then somehow having to fix it, and then it just, yeah, that was the most frustrating part, I think.
See, the positive part of working the bison, the part I enjoyed was at the end of every day, taking a step back, peeling the paint off from where I had to make straight lines for the steel mill and looking at it as a whole, saying, wow, this is really coming together. It's looking great. I can't wait to see it when it's finished.
Well, the Bicentennial is basically the Indiana's 200th celebration, and it's a big deal for our school because certain places were chosen, and out of all of Indiana, we were one of the few that were chosen.
we're all students that worked on it as compared to other bisons that I've heard about that it wasn't just students. So that's just really amazing to me, and knowing that it's going to go around the state and everyone in the student body is going to see it and they know that we were the ones behind it. So that's how it's special to me.
For more information about the Bicentennial Project locally and statewide, visit iauw.org/bison. For the entire Eye on the Arts catalog, find Lakeshore Public Media on YouTube and look for the Eye on the Arts playlist. We encourage you to support your local arts and make creating a part of your life. We leave you with a calendar of arts events for the month of August. For more information on local happenings, visit southshoreartsonline.org/calendar.